Well, I'm going to begin by asking, of course, is it true that you left the X-Men franchise for this? And if so, what was it about the Kingsman sort of screenplay and project that just appealed to you that much?
Well, I didn't do Days of Future Past, so it obviously is true, yes. Yeah, it was a really, really hard decision for me because, I wrote the treatment for Days of Future Past and was really excited. And then Simon Kinberg went off to do the screenplay. And then I was bored, so I wrote this, Kingsman. And I actually asked Fox, I said, look, I've got to do Kingsman first because I've got my gut saying that someone else is going to do a spy comedy, well, not comedy, but a fun spy film. And I don't want to look like I'm copying them, so I've got to get out the gate. So I said, guys, can we push X-Men back one more year? And they said no. So I was like, okay, guys, well, I'm going to do Kingsman then, because I'd written the script and it was in my head and I was so excited about it. And I also liked the idea of doing a franchise that was mine, totally mine. X-Men, I was a director for hire. Here, this is me.
Yeah. As well, because you do seem to have this kind of inherent obligation just to entertain. It's one of the things I love about your movies. And this is obviously as exhilarating as well. And just how vital is it that audiences have films of this ilk where they can just go into the cinema and just enjoy themselves for 90 minutes or 100 minutes?
For me, I think that's the only reason to watch a film. I'm not. Most of the movies are nominated for Oscars put me to sleep. They're like TV films, I thought, and not Oscars for BAFTAs or whatever, but they'll probably get the Oscar nominations as well. But I'm just I'm the sort of filmmaker that grew up in the 70s, and I watched Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and I just sat there exhilarated and having the time of my life in the cinema, and I want to continue that tradition.
And do you think that the success of hopefully of Kingsman and then obviously of Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers in recent years, do you think that we could see a shift?
Look at that, Guardians, no recognition.
Yeah.
And that film was a lot harder to make than, I'm not going to name the movies, but films where you just plonk a camera here and there and have a good actor it's just crazy. Guardians should have been nominated.
So do you think it's about time then that perhaps superhero films were recognised at Oscars and awards?
Back in its time, Ben-Hur was a superhero film. They were spectacle, they were action, I think the balance needs to come back from just because it's a worthy subject matter and dramatic is, Nolan should have won an Oscar by now. I just think there's a lot of, I remember reading about Spielberg. I think was it Jaws, or there was one movie he did which he was convinced he was going to get nominated for, and nothing came on. And I don't know if you go online, there's a video of him just so shocked and going crazy. And I get it. He deserved recognition a lot earlier on.
Do you think that this kind of shift in tone in these in the big films of this ilk could see us deviate away from the sort of Christopher Nolan more bleak sort of?
Oh yeah, I've got the whole internet have decided to misquote me saying I think Nolan's made everything too dark. What I said is Nolan is very good at doing what he did with Batman, and the subject matter of Batman deserves to be dark. But there are other superheroes, like I don't think Superman should be dark. Superman, the clues in the costume, what it should be like. Spider-Man. I think you have to always respect source material, and if you're going to reinvent it in a way that's done in respect, not just for the sake of doing it. So, but I think right now the audience really it's a bad, hard world right now. So if you're going, my job, and I think other directors' job, is to give people 2 hours of escapism.
Of course, Aaron Taylor-Johnson was originally rumoured to be taking the lead in this, but you went for Taron. How beneficial do you think it is, and obviously himself and Sophie, to have these kind of newcomers? Do they have a kind of an enthusiasm that kind of comes out of the fact it's their first big project, and does that benefit the film, do you think?
No, what benefits the film is that when you watch as an audience member, you have no idea who this kid is, so you really believe he is Eggsy, and you just don't know what the end result's going to be because you think he could get killed. Could he be transformed into a gentleman? If it was, let's say, I put a young Leo in, there's going to be no surprise at the end when he looks like a movie star. So I think casting's about casting correctly for the role, not for the poster.
So just finally, can we expect another Kingsman? Do you reckon this could be a franchise that continues on?
if the audience go see it, then we have a fantastic idea for Kingsman 2, where if you thought the first one was pushing the boundaries, the second one we're going interstellar on it, should we say?
Well, let's hope people see it then.
Great.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time today. Much appreciated.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!